Have you ever woken up, placed your feet on the floor, and something didn't feel quite right? Not pain, exactly. Just that strange, numbing sensation, like your toes are asleep, even though you're wide awake. It might start as a little tingle, a whisper of discomfort when you walk to the kitchen in the morning. But over time, that whisper can turn into a daily hum, cold toes, strange pins and needles, or a deep, dull sense that your feet just don't belong to you anymore. If that sounds like you, just type, "That's me," in the comments. It's a small way to say, "I feel this too." Now here's something many seniors don't expect. Some of the fruits you've been told are healthy might be quietly making that numbness worse. And today, I want to help you feel in control of your body again. Let me tell you about Helen. She's 74, lives in a quiet town outside Seattle, and starts each morning with a bowl of fresh fruit. Bananas, oranges, a handful of grapes. She thought she was doing the right thing: natural sugar, fiber, vitamin C. But over the past year, Helen noticed something strange. Her feet were getting colder, numb sometimes. A prickly feeling would run through her soles when she got up too fast. At first, she blamed her age, or the weather, or her slippers. But the numbness got worse. Her doctor ran tests. Mild neuropathy, they said. Probably age-related. But no one talked to her about what she was eating. Here's what no one tells you. Even healthy-looking fruits can quietly spike your blood sugar and worsen inflammation, especially after 60, when our nerves become more sensitive and blood flow naturally decreases. So, let's talk about the first hidden troublemaker: grapes. Yes, they're beautiful, easy to snack on, but grapes are extremely high in sugar, fructose specifically. And that kind of sugar, while natural, still hits your system fast, too fast. And if your circulation is already slowing down, or if you've got even mild insulin resistance, which most people over 60 do, even without diabetes, all that sugar can stir up inflammation in the tiny blood vessels that feed your feet and toes. And that inflammation? It compresses nerves, makes your feet feel fuzzy, heavy, or strangely disconnected from the rest of you. If you've ever felt like your shoes are tighter, or that your feet are buzzing at night, this could be part of it. Now Helen didn't want to give up fruit altogether, and she didn't have to. She made one small swap. Instead of grapes, she started adding blueberries to her breakfast. Still sweet, still satisfying. But blueberries are lower in sugar and bursting with something else: anthocyanins. These are powerful compounds that help fight oxidative stress and protect your blood vessels. In fact, studies from Tufts and Harvard have shown that people who eat more berries, especially blueberries, have better nerve health and lower inflammation markers. So if you're reaching for grapes, consider reaching for a bowl of blueberries instead. It's a small shift, but for Helen, it was the beginning of real change. Within weeks, her feet weren't perfect, but she no longer dreaded walking barefoot on her cold bathroom tiles. Now let's talk about another fruit that surprises people. Bananas. Soft, filling, great in oatmeal. But one medium banana packs over 14 grams of sugar, and more importantly, it's extremely high in potassium. Now normally, potassium is good. It helps regulate blood pressure and muscle contractions. But for seniors with kidney issues, or even mildly reduced kidney function, which becomes more common after 60, too much potassium can actually increase nerve sensitivity. That means more tingling, more burning, more that strange, half-numb feeling that makes you want to keep rubbing your feet under the covers. This doesn't mean you can never eat bananas, but portion matters. Helen used to eat one every day. Now she has half, maybe 3 times a week. And on other days, she reaches for slices of pear or a few strawberries, fruits that are gentler on the body and lower on the glycemic index. Have you ever noticed you feel more sluggish or more restless after your morning fruit? If so, take a moment to reflect. It may not be in your head. It might be your body asking for something different, something kinder. Try this. Tomorrow morning, swap that banana for half a sliced pear. Top it with cinnamon, a drizzle of nut butter. Chew slowly. Feel the warmth return to your body, bit by bit. The changes don't have to be big, just honest. That's what Helen learned. And now, each morning, she feels something new. Not just less numbness, but a quiet pride. A sense that she's listening to her body again. And maybe that's the beginning of healing. What if the answer isn't cutting out sweetness, but choosing fruits that truly nourish you? What if one small swap could change the way your feet feel next week? Because here's the truth. Your body is always talking to you. The tingles, the numbness, the cold toes at night. They're not just age, they're messages. And when we listen, we can begin to feel better. In just a moment, I'll share a few more surprising fruits that might be sabotaging your nerve health and simple, delicious ways to replace them. But for now, take a deep breath. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're just beginning to understand your body in a whole new way. And that's something worth celebrating. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 77, lives just outside Denver, and keeps a tidy little garden in her backyard. Zinnias, mint, and the soft hum of bees in the morning. For most of her life, Margaret believed in balance. She didn't go overboard with sweets. She walked every day. And for dessert, a small handful of raisins after lunch, just enough to satisfy. But somewhere around her 75th birthday, things began to shift. She noticed her feet didn't feel right. Not pain, exactly. More like her socks had bunched up at the toes, even when she wasn't wearing any. She thought maybe her shoes were too tight. Or maybe it was the cold floor. But when the numbness moved into her ankles, especially after sitting for a while, she began to worry. Her doctor mentioned early signs of peripheral neuropathy. But Margaret had no diabetes, no history of smoking, and her blood pressure was under control. She went home confused and quietly scared. That's when she started paying attention to the little things, what she ate, when she moved. And one thing kept showing up, the dried fruit. Those little raisins she thought were harmless, they were packing a sugar punch she never expected. You see, dried fruit is tricky. It seems natural. But once the water is removed, all the sugars become concentrated. One small box of raisins can contain over 25 grams of sugar, the equivalent of several teaspoons of table sugar. And without the fiber and water found in whole fruit, those sugars hit your bloodstream fast. For someone in their 30s, that spike might not do much. But for someone over 60, it can quietly fuel inflammation in your smallest blood vessels, especially those feeding your feet and hands. And that inflammation? It strangles nerves, makes them misfire. And that misfiring? That's the buzzing, the tingling, the pins and needles that come and go without warning. Margaret didn't want to give up her after-lunch habit, so she swapped it. Now, instead of raisins, she eats a few slices of fresh apple with cinnamon and a sliver of sharp cheese. The fiber slows the sugar release. The cinnamon supports healthy blood sugar. And the joy? Still there. Sometimes it's not about giving something up. It's about giving your body what it needs now. Have you ever had a snack that left you feeling worse, not better? If you've experienced that little crash or strange buzzing afterward, write, "That's me" in the comments. You're not alone, truly. Let's talk about another fruit that surprises people. Mangoes. Tropical, bright, silky sweet. But mangoes, while rich in vitamins, also carry a very high glycemic load. That means they spike your blood sugar more dramatically than most fruits. And repeated spikes over time? That's one of the quiet root causes of nerve damage. George, who we met earlier, used to blend a mango smoothie every afternoon. He'd toss in banana, mango, a splash of juice, and think, this is healthy. But what he didn't realize was that every afternoon smoothie was hitting his system like a sugar bomb, without any fiber or protein to slow it down. And for someone already noticing numbness in the feet, that was adding fuel to the fire. Here's what changed for George. He didn't stop his smoothies. He simply reimagined them. Now he uses frozen berries, half an avocado for creaminess, unsweetened almond milk, and a scoop of plain protein powder. Sometimes he adds flax seeds for extra fiber. The taste? Still delicious. The result? A smoother ride for his blood sugar and calmer feet. Science backs this up. Studies from Johns Hopkins show that consistent spikes in blood glucose, even within the normal range, can impair nerve function over time, especially in older adults. So the goal isn't to cut out fruit. It's to choose fruit that works with your body, not against it. The rule of thumb? Less tropical, more local, less juice, more whole fiber. Have you noticed which fruits your body responds well to and which leave you feeling off? That kind of awareness isn't small, it's powerful. It's the kind of listening that brings healing. Try this gentle practice tomorrow. Before breakfast, sit down with your fruit of choice. Just one serving. Eat it slowly. Then, pause. Check in 2 hours later. How do your feet feel? Your energy? Your focus? It's not a test. It's a conversation. Your body is speaking in the language of sensation. Tingling, numbness, lightness, warmth. You don't need a degree to understand it, just presence. Back to Margaret. After just 2 weeks of these small changes, no raisins, less mango, more berries and pears, she called her daughter and said, "I don't know if I'm imagining it, but I feel like my feet are waking up again." And that phrase stuck with me. Waking up. Because that's what this is, really. Not just a shift in diet, but a gentle awakening of your senses, of your connection to your body, of your right to feel good in your own skin. You haven't missed your chance. You haven't waited too long. There's still time to listen, to adjust, to feel again. Coming up next, we'll talk about 2 more fruits, ones you'd never expect, that might be causing more harm than good. And I'll show you the gentlest ways to replace them with foods that actually heal. But before we go on, take a moment with me. Close your eyes, wiggle your toes, feel them. Whether they feel warm, cool, numb, or alive, they're yours. They've carried you this far, and now, maybe they're ready to feel better. Let's talk about Lillian. She's 80, fiercely independent, lives alone in a little house near a pond where ducks come by in the mornings. But lately, even standing at the window to watch them felt different. Her feet had grown heavy. That was the word she used, heavy. Like walking across the room was no longer natural, but something she had to prepare for. And when her doctor told her the numbness might be part of aging, she nodded politely. But deep down, she wasn't ready to accept that. Not yet. She started making changes, small ones. One of the first things she let go of? Pineapple. She'd been eating it for years, fresh chunks after lunch or blended into her favorite yogurt. It was sweet, tangy, tropical, but it also caused something she never connected until later. Her feet would feel more swollen about an hour after eating. Her ankles puffier. And the tingling? Stronger. What Lillian didn't know was that pineapple contains not just high sugar, but a compound called bromelain. In moderation, bromelain is anti-inflammatory. But for some seniors, especially those with sensitive digestion or mild kidney stress, it can act like a histamine trigger, causing nerve irritation, subtle inflammation, and yes, more numbness. The solution wasn't to stop enjoying food. It was to shift to something gentler. Lillian swapped her pineapple bowl for a chilled slice of melon. Lower sugar, more water, softer on the system. And within a week, she said something beautiful. "It feels like the pins in my feet got duller, like someone turned the volume down." That's the power of attention. Not force, not fear, just awareness, lovingly applied. Now let's visit one last fruit that catches many seniors off guard: cherries. They seem innocent, small, sweet, and fresh cherries, even tart ones, can be good in small amounts. But the danger comes from what many people do with them: eat them dried, or in jams, or in sweetened yogurts. One serving of dried cherries can contain over 30 grams of sugar, and that kind of spike can worsen microvascular inflammation, the kind that quietly damages nerves in the feet and hands, the kind that makes you feel like you're wearing socks made of static. Paul, a retired teacher from Georgia, loved cherry yogurt before bed. But every morning, he'd wake up with stiff, tingly feet. He thought it was poor circulation, or maybe the weather. But once he removed the sugary cherries and started having plain Greek yogurt with cinnamon and flaxseed, he noticed a subtle shift. "My feet still buzzed," he told me, "but less, like someone took the edge off the blade." It wasn't a miracle, but it was a beginning. And that's the heart of this entire conversation. Because when you've lived a long life, raised children, buried loved ones, fought through grief, worked hard, stayed strong, it's easy to dismiss numbness in your feet as just getting old. But what if it's not? What if it's your body trying to tell you, "I need a little help. I need something gentler now"? That numbness, that tingling, that odd heaviness. They're not signs of weakness. They're invitations. Invitations to slow down. Tune in. Relearn the language of your own body. And yes, sometimes the answer lies in something as small as switching from grapes to berries, from bananas to pears, from mango to melon. Simple swaps. Not a diet, not a punishment. Just a return to feeling. Because here's the beautiful truth. Your body remembers how to heal. Your nerves remember how to wake up. And every small act of care is a signal. I still want to feel alive. Let's recap. Not the list, but the feeling. Less sugar, more fiber. Less spike, more stability. Less noise, more clarity in your body's voice. If you've been walking through your days with numb feet and quiet worry, let today be the start of something softer. Try a gentle breakfast. Watch how your body feels by noon. And know, you are not broken. You are listening. If something in this video made you pause, if a story felt like your own, drop the words "I'm ready" in the comments. It's a small way to say, "I'm ready to feel better. I'm ready to come back home to myself." And if this video helped you, please tap that like button. It tells YouTube to share this with other seniors who might be searching for quiet answers, just like you. Subscribe if you'd like to keep learning simple ways to support your health, vitality, and peace, without overwhelm, without noise. Just care. Because aging isn't about slowing down. It's about rediscovering the feeling that's been there all along. The joy of walking freely. The comfort of soft, warm feet on cool morning floors. The knowing that you're not done yet. You're just beginning again. With gentleness, with grace, with choice. You've got this. And we're here with you.